Welcome to ACD Combatives, your combatives and control tactics channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hey boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kurt. So this is a follow-up to the last video I did, distance management. It's that important. It's, again, part of the series of the most important concepts of control tactics. And it can be the same, but it's also different than martial arts. So this is basically distance management, not only controlling the distance to control the fight, but controlling the distance to control damage.
Mother of God.
If you are a grappler, for example, and I'm probably better grappling than I am at striking, although a lot of times I like to use striking to enter into a clinch range, then it's definitely important to understand distance management. Now, it's important in all martial arts, for sure, but definitely for control tactics. I'm a regular Joe, and I don't want to get hurt just affecting an arrest on a regular basis. In law enforcement, you can be making arrests on a regular basis, and generally speaking, it usually goes fine, but in 24 years, I don't know how many times it didn't go fine. I lost count, I'm sure. But you want to be able to just carry on and go back to work the next day.
Damn it, you burger punk! You son of a bitch!
This isn't a prize fight. And again, I'm just a regular Joe. So your control tactics should be heavily based on distance management. And then what to do when you get into the clinch, i.e. controlling the clinch and riding the wave, I like to say, because you're going to be clinching against a very angry, upset individual that's very likely stronger and bigger than you are, very athletic, and they're motivated. They want to get away, or in some cases want to get away and or hurt you.
Apparently, he was getting murdered.
So you have to be able to ride that initial energy. And I talk about distance management a lot in other videos, but this one is going to be, okay, not only grappling and clinch, but how to use the strike to get into that position. And again, I'll probably do another video about how to close the distance without having to strike. Like, it's a very subtle arrest. The person is resisting you, but they're not trying to hurt you or hit you. They're just trying to pull away and pull their elbows in and being very obnoxious. And you have to be able to close the distance and tie them up and get them in a clinch and take them down ethically. And this video is going to be more about you're closing the distance, but with strikes. Again, strikes are very applicable in law enforcement. Like for this example, the guy allegedly throws a punch at you. It's very appropriate to not only enter the clinch range to take him down for an arrest, but it's very applicable to strike him. Again, you're not trying to put him in the hospital. You're just trying to do what we call in Japanese martial arts a temiwaza, your vital point striking, upsetting the balance. You're aiming for areas that will hurt but not do permanent damage. You're just trying to affect an arrest.
Give me your purse! Now!
That's my purse.
Don't be afraid to shout it. That's my purse! Try it again.
That's my purse! I don't know you!
And good striking can get you into that range very effectively, especially if you are a smaller officer. And the person you're tussling with, the person you're arresting, is much bigger and stronger than you, or something of that nature. And you'll see that here in a bit later in the video. I have got some help from another instructor, another officer I train with, or I'm beginning to train with, and she is a former boxing and Muay Thai coach. She's trained several different other martial arts, Kung Fu, I believe mixed martial arts, and Krav Maga. I mean, she's done it all, and actually felt like a monkey screwing a football holding mitts for her. She was much better striker than me, and she had to water things down. She promised she'd work with me later in the future and help me hold mitts. So stay tuned to stay tuned. But back to subject, because I always digress when I do these videos. You want to enter the clinch range by controlling the distance.
Thinking about what you can't control only wastes energy.
And that means either striking your way in this example, because we're talking about in this video using strikes to enter the clinch zone. You want to use strikes appropriately. This isn't a match where you're trying to knock somebody out, per se. You're trying to strike your way appropriately into the clinch zone. And again, if you are a smaller officer, and it's always fair to assume that if somebody's attacking you, they're always going to be bigger, stronger, more athletic than you. It's just the facts of life. Somebody who's a foot smaller than you and weighs half your weight, generally speaking, isn't going to feel motivated to attack you. I could be wrong, but generally speaking, based on my 24 years of law enforcement, I don't get attacked very often. And this is Coach Amanda I was telling you about. She's maybe 5'3", 120 pounds, give or take. I'm not sure. It's not one of those things you ask women generally. And she is going to demonstrate what I say, very aggressive but appropriate entering techniques as far as using your striking to enter into the clinch zone to effect the arrest. And here you are seeing her, we're simulating putting me in handcuffs. Again, she's smaller than me, and if I'm resisting her, it'd be very appropriate for her to use her striking ability to control me. And here she is controlling me. She's backing out, and here she could go to her bat belt, pepper spray, taser, baton. But this is more or less me just trying to muscle my way in, and she's using her striking ability to take me down and effect an arrest. And here I felt like, I'm from Wisconsin, so when I say I felt like I was attacked by a Wolverine, you understand what I mean. Vicious and small. And very, very appropriate, I think, analogy. So, guys, when you make the entry, you don't want to take damage going in. You want to maintain a good cover, and that's where your Muay Thai and your boxing and your MMA training is going to come in handy. I'm going to work with Amanda in the future on that. Here we are working some mitts, and again, she's a better striker than me, so she's kind of like giving me tips on how to hold the mitts for her. I don't do it very often, and I hope to improve on that. But here we are. She's just using what I call the stop hit, or a teep in Muay Thai. It's a front kick. She's throwing some strikes, and then she's going to land that front kick to keep me off of her. Super important for a smaller officer to get in, do your damage, make an effect, and either take the person down for handcuffing, or you're like, oh, I'm going to bail out and go to my bat belt. Guys, you're a police officer. You have a duty gear. It's super important to remember that. I know that I'm always emphasizing taking people down and going to handcuffing. And I obviously am serious about that. But it's not always the right move. It's important to remember that they issue you all that cool bat belt gear.
I'm Batman.
For a reason. You got a baton, you got pepper spray, you have a taser, especially if you're a smaller officer or if you have multiple subjects. It's important to shoot, move, and communicate, as we called it in the Army. And here we are kind of demonstrating that from a martial arts point of view or combative's point of view. Stick and move, stick and move. That's how Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey in their fight. She knew that Ronda was an amazing grappler, and she used shoot, move, communicate concept. And this is a good demonstration of that. She's coming in with some simple combinations. Simple for me because I'm not really awesome at holding mitts, so she was keeping it simple for me. 1, 2, 3, a jab, cross, hook, and straight, and then we would work in some kicks to keep me off. Now, a good follow-up to that in a control tactic situation would be either get into the clinch for the takedown or get back out of the clinch. Maybe you're in the clinch and you feel like, oh, something doesn't feel right. In that case, you definitely want to back out and be able to strike your way out, strike your way in. All right, guys, like, subscribe, and share, and thank you for watching.
There is only one God, and his name is death.
And there is only one thing we say to death.
Not today.